2 years before we did. These things are all a question of political will. We can do energy independence if we have leadership. We can end illegal immigration if we have leadership. It is not impossible to end illegal immigration. It's difficult to end illegal immigration, but it's not impossible. That's also one of my commitments. And the reason that I'm running for president is I've done things like this before. I've had results like this before. Not exactly these results, but results that were just about as difficult to achieve, just about as impossible to do. When I first ran for mayor of New York City, they didn't think it was possible for New York City to reduce crime at all. We'd been the crime capital of America for 20 or 30 years. People used to be afraid to come to New York City. I'll give you the numbers. We were up to 2,000 murders a year. And nobody thought it could be reduced. We had 1.1 million people on welfare. Yeah, just think of that. The number of people we had on welfare would have been the third or fourth largest city in the country. Just the number we were sustaining on welfare one of the largest cities in the United States. The cities in the United States usually have populations of 100,000, 200,000. A couple are over a million. We had a deficit of $2.3 billion. Nobody's done anything to be done about that. We had pornography all over the place. Nobody's done anything to be done about that. Well, we did something about all of that. We took New York City from the crime capital of America to the safest large city in America. Murders went below 1,000. Remember there were 2,000? They went below 1,000. They went below 800, 700. They went below 600. Welfare, 640,000 fewer people on welfare. 640,000. That's also bigger than most cities in the United States. Just the number of people we got off welfare. Unemployment went from 10.5 to 5%, and the budget went from a $2.3 billion deficit to a $3 billion surplus. Because we had the political will to solve these problems. So, how would you end illegal immigration? I would end illegal immigration by borrowing something from the two of those things that I mentioned to you, from the way I reduce crime and the way I reduce welfare. One of the main ways I reduced crime was with something called the COMSTAT program. It measures crime every day. It's a computer program. Measures crime every day. Pin maps it, puts it on a map. It's the strategic use of police officers based on where you think crime is going to occur to stop it before it happens. That's a simplified version of it, but that's what it is. Well, that's what we have to do on our border. We have to build a fence. We have to build a physical fence and a technological fence. The technological fence is photographic equipment, motion detection equipment that spots people coming to the border and alerts the Border Patrol to be there before they get there. Then you deploy the Border Patrol every 50 miles, so they're no more than 25 miles away from any point on the border. And then when that equipment alerts you to people coming, you deploy the Border Patrol to the border before they get there, and you stop them from coming in. It can be done. Not impossible. We need more Border Patrol. We have the authorization for it. We've got about 12,000 in the Border Patrol. You up it to 15, 16, 17, 18,000. You can do this. You can stop them at the border. And then you can use a border stat program like my COMSTAT program. So strategically you figure out where to place your Border Patrol before they come over the border. If you do this for 2 or 3 years, you'll change behavior. If people realize when they come to the border they're not going to get over, after a while they're going to stop doing it. And when we figure out where to be there, before they get there, they're going to stop doing it. They're not going to stop in a day, they're not going to stop in a week, they're not going to stop in a month. They may start stopping in 3 or 4 months, maybe in 5 or 6, maybe it'll take a year, maybe 2, maybe 3. We just have to be determined to do whatever it takes to stop it. And then we have to have a tamper-proof ID card, because we'll have a rule. The rule is, in order to come into the United States of America, you have to identify yourself. Now, does that sound like a very startling rule? Are there too many countries in this world that you can walk into and not bother to tell them who you are? I mean, suppose you travel to Canada, or you travel to England, or Mexico, right? You walk in, they're going to ask you who you are, right? You got to be prepared to identify yourself. You got to show them your passport. We allow thousands of people to come in without one. Doesn't make sense. So we'll have a tamper-proof ID card with a picture and with a fingerprints, so we will know who is coming in the United States. And as we get control over illegal immigration, we will expand legal immigration. Because our economy needs people coming here from other countries. It really does. And one of the things we're sacrificing with legal immigration, we're kind of contracting legal immigration because we can't do anything about illegal. If we got control, if we stop illegal immigration, we could expand legal immigration. And a lot of the people here that are working would be working here legally, which also means they'd be paying taxes and Social Security and paying their fair share. And if they want to strive to become American citizens, God bless them. That's wonderful. That's a part of our country always being a country in which we make a better life for ourselves and our children, is because we have people here who believe that. People who used to come across oceans, sacrificing maybe their lives in order to accomplish that. Can't imagine spiritually what that does for a country. So we need people like that, but we need them to come here legally. And we can solve that problem. And we can solve the problem of growth. God bless you. We can solve the problem of growth for young people by making sure we have a growth economy. And here's how you have a growth economy. Low taxes, reduce government spending, less regulation, and stop people from suing so much. If you do those four things, that's how you have a growth economy. Low taxes because you spend money in a smarter way than government does. Less government spending because if you don't get government spending down, it's hard to get taxes down. And you don't have a balanced budget. And then you create a deficit for the future. And it hurts all kinds of things like balance of payments and everything else. Third, overregulation. Same like overtaxing, overregulation drives jobs out of this country. Then they go to someplace else where regulations are more moderate. And oversuing, because oversuing does two really tremendously bad things for us. It acts as a disincentive for businesses coming here because they get sued too darn much here. And it is a very large part of our GDP, which is unproductive. Twice as much of our GDP is used up on all of these lawsuits than any other industrialized country. I mean, compare us to countries that we trade with, like Japan or England. We should sue each other like in a totally out of control way. So I'm going to finish with one story, because stories sometimes are better than anything else. Remember the guy who sued for the loss of his pants? Remember that a couple of weeks ago, months ago? He lost his pants. He went to the cleaning store, left his pants, then they lost his pants. Okay, if I lost my pants, I've lost things in cleaning stores a few times. It gets you kind of annoyed, right? He sued the cleaning store for $54 million. Actually, he sued for $67 million, I think, and the judge knocked it down to $54 million. I'm trying to figure out how the judge made that calculation to go from $67 million to $54 million. This must have been one heck of a pair of pants, right? $54 million pair of pants. I have to tell you the truth. They don't even cost that much in New York. Even with taxes. Well, he sued. He lost. He lost. That's the good news. The bad news is it cost the people who own that cleaning store $100,000 to defend themselves against what I would consider a fraudulent lawsuit. I mean, that's just a fraud. Yes, the man is entitled to get the money back for his pants. He's probably entitled to get a little bit, maybe $50, maybe $100, maybe $200, $54 million? This is a misuse and abuse of our legal process. And it cost those people $100,000. Here's the way our legal system should work if it's fair. He should now have to pay them the $100,000. He should have to hand them $100,000. That's called loser pays. Happens to be the rule in England from which we get our legal system. And, you know, we're a great country and we get most of it right. But we have a legal system that's really unfair. And it's a legal system that's unfair to doctors as well. Women in this